Hello, dear students. Let us go to the next theorem on connected spaces. So let us see the theorem statement, which states that any subset of real numbers R is connected if and only if A is an interval. Is an interval. So any subset of R is connected if and only if it is an interval. Now, if and only if is there, so proof necessary given. What is given? A is any subset of R and A is connected is given. And TPT is, we have to prove A is an interval. Suppose A is not an interval. Okay, that means what? That means any 2 points belonging to A, any 2 points belonging to A, and if A1 less than A2, right, A1 less than A2, there exists at least 1 point, right? At least 1 point, right? In between A1 and A2, such that A will not belong to this A. The small a will not belong to the capital A. That's the meaning of not an interval. Okay, so you have A1 here. Just look at this, the diagram here. So you have A1 and A2. There's at least 1 point in between A, right, which doesn't belong to the set capital A. Fine. Then define B like this. What is our B? B is all the real points such that X is greater than A. X is greater than A. That means what? All the real points greater than A. That is nothing but open interval A comma infinity. This is an open interval and all the open intervals are open sets in usual topology on R. So this is an open set. Now take C. C is X belonging to real numbers such that X is less than A, all the real numbers less than A. So that is nothing but the open interval minus infinity comma A, and it's an open interval. So it is open under usual topology with on R, the set of real numbers. So clearly now, what is B union C? B union C is nothing but R except that point A. See, A, right? So A doesn't belong to the interval. Similarly here, A doesn't belong to this interval. So what is my B union C? B union C is nothing but except R all the real numbers. So R minus singleton A. And what about the intersection of B and C? Is it null set? You can see, the open interval A comma infinity and the open interval minus infinity comma A have no common points. So B intersection C is equal to null. Okay. So now, where is our A now? So A is definitely subset of this subset of R minus singleton A, which is nothing but B union C. So A is subset of B union C. So I can write down A as A intersection B union C. Correct? Now by distributive law, you can distribute this. So A intersection B union A intersection C. We'll call that as equation 1. We'll call that as equation 1. Right. So remember, we have to prove A is an interval. We assumed A is not an interval. So that means what? We have to get a contradiction. Let us see where we get the contradiction. What is given to me? Given to me A is connected. Okay. Now look at first step, first one. Now equation 1 is giving me what? I've got A as union of two sets. Two sets are A intersection B and A intersection C. Now first point is, we'll prove that these two, that is A intersection B and A intersection C, both are non-empty. We'll prove these two are non-empty. Then we are going to prove they are disjoint, right? Then we are going to prove that they are open sets. So I've got A as union of, disjoint, now two non-empty disjoint open sets. So therefore, A is disconnected. A has a separation, A is disconnected, but actually our A is connected. That is the contradiction, right? Okay, now first point to prove that they are non-empty. Which two are non-empty? We have to prove that A intersection B and A intersection C are non-empty. Okay, guys. Now, we have A1 and A. So, A1 is definitely less than A. Correct? That's how we have taken here. You can see this part here. So, A1 is less than A. A1 is less than A. And so, where is A1 now? According to the definition of C. According to definition of C, all the real numbers less than A. A1 is a real number less than A. So, A1 belongs to C. A1 belongs to C. And A1 also belongs to A. Right? So, A1 belongs to A intersection C. Therefore, A intersection C is not null. Similarly, let us take up A2 now. Let us take up A2. Now, what is A2 now? So, A2 is greater than A. So, since A2 is greater than A, it's a real number greater than A. So, definitely, according to my B definition, right, it will be in B. And also, it belongs to A. So, it belongs to the intersection A intersection B. Therefore, A intersection B is not null. So, I got A intersection B and A intersection C are non-empty, and we'll call that as 2. Equation 2. Equation 2. Now, we'll prove that they are disjoint. So, consider the, disjoint A intersection B intersection A intersection C. That is nothing but, so A intersection B intersection C. A is common, so A is taken out and a bracket here. And we know that B intersection C is null because of this. B intersection C is null. So, therefore, B intersection C is null. So, A intersection null set is null. So, therefore, A intersection B and A intersection C, they are disjoint. Call it as equation 3. Right? Now, are they open sets? A intersection B and A intersection C are open sets in A. Why? Because B and C are open in X. B and C are open sets in X. X is nothing but R here. X is nothing but R over there. Right? So, B and C are open in R. And so, tau elements. And tau element intersection, the set is nothing but tau star elements. Right? So, these two are open in A. Open in A. That is our 4. So by 1, 2, 3, 4, so I have written A as union of 2 sets. Those two are non-empty, disjoint, open sets. That means A has a separation. So therefore, A is disconnected. Therefore, A is disconnected. But our A is actually connected. So it is a contradiction. So hence, what we assumed is not an interval is wrong. A has to be an interval. Hence, necessary. Necessary is done. Okay, guys. Now we'll go to sufficiency. Yeah. Now going to sufficiency. Now what is given sufficiency? Given A is an interval, we have to prove that A is connected. Suppose A is disconnected. That means it has got a separation. That means I can write down A as union of 2 sets which are non-empty, disjoint, closed sets by using the first theorem on connectedness. Whenever A is disconnected, it is the union of 2 non-empty disjoint open sets, and also I can write down as the union of 2 non-empty disjoint closed sets. So here I'm taking closed sets. So what are B and C? Remember, they are closed sets. Okay. So remember, we are assuming something wrong, right? We are assuming it is disconnected. I have to get a contradiction. Let us see where we get the contradiction. Right now. So let me take 2 points. One point coming from B, the other point coming from C. I'm taking 2 points. Fine. So B comma C belongs to A. Right? Correct? No. So I'm taking 1 point from this B, another point from C. So definitely that is equal to A here. So these 2 points will definitely belong to A. And what is A? A is an interval. That means what? Full interval. The closed interval B comma C will belong to A. Will belong to A. Right? Now, Let us take, B naught as something like this. What is our B naught? B naught is this closed interval, intersection B. I'm taking the first set B, this B, the same B here, right? I'm just taking the intersection with B comma C. I'm calling it as B naught, right? And what is my B? B is closed. B is a closed set. B and C are closed, no? So B is closed here, and this is a closed interval. So intersection of two closed sets is closed. So therefore B naught is closed, right? So I have a closed set here, B naught, and let H be the supremum of this B naught, largest value, the supremum of B naught. I hope you know the definition of supremum. Okay, now this is our first step. So remember, we are going to prove that A is connected. I assume it is disconnected. This is our step 1. Now, step 2 is I'm going to prove that this H, small h, is limit point of B naught. Limit point of B naught. Okay. Since our H is supremum of B naught, supremum, so this is the definition of supremum. That means what? All the points of B naught will be lesser than or equal to H. All the points. Okay. For every epsilon greater than 0, there exists always one point belonging to B naught such that this is such that this X will be greater than H minus epsilon. Greater than H minus epsilon. So this is the definition of supremum. I hope you remember the definition of supremum. Right. So let us take this now. So H minus epsilon, we'll start with H minus epsilon. H minus epsilon less than X. That's what this is written first here. Okay. And this hex is lesser than or equal to H, because X is coming from B naught, and we know that all the points of B naught will be lesser than or equal to H. So I have here H lesser than or equal to H, and H is definitely less than this H plus epsilon. Agree? So consider H minus epsilon less than X, that is less than H plus epsilon. So definitely X will belong to the open interval H minus epsilon, H plus epsilon, and X is coming from B naught. X is coming from B naught, right? Now consider this B naught intersection, this open set of hex, open set of X, right? Minus singleton H. Now what is this? Is it equal to null or not equal to null? So definitely this part, there is X belonging to this. See here, X belongs to this, and also X belongs to B naught. So the X will belong to this part. X minus H will definitely be not null. So for every open set of H, for every open set H minus epsilon comma H plus epsilon, this is not null. Therefore, H is limit point of B naught. And what is B naught? B naught is closed. Remember, our B naught is closed. So every closed set contains all its limit points. So H will belong to B naught. What is B naught is here, right? So H will belong to this first closed interval, and also H will belong to B, right? Now, suppose, H, now watch this. Suppose our H is equal to small c, then small c will belong to capital C, right? We have taken C from capital C, no? Remember? So that means H will belong to C also. H will belong to C also. H will belong to C and H will belong to B. So this B intersection C will become not null. This is a contradiction. This is a contradiction. So therefore, our what was this will become this now. So B lesser than or equal to H less than small c. Less than small c. This is our step 2. Okay. Now we'll go to step 3. Now what is our step 3? Step 3 is this. What is step 3? So remember, where is our H now? H actually now we have got H belongs to B. H belongs to B. Right? H belongs to B naught. So H belongs to B. We have got H belongs to B. Right? Now, let us see what is in the next step now. So in the next step, we have, let us take any open interval of H. Let K be any open interval of H. Okay. Choose a small delta such that if you add that delta to H, it will belong to K and it will be lesser than or equal to C. Of course, this H will be less than C, right? I'm just taking little above it. That is H plus delta is very, very small. So H plus delta will become lesser than or equal to C. So H plus delta will belong to the closed interval B comma C. And this B comma C is contained in A, right? And that A is nothing but B union C. So therefore, H plus delta will belong to B or it will belong to C, but not both. If it belongs to both, again, I get a contradiction there. So it cannot belong to both because of this, right? So let me take now, it may be in B or it may be in C. Okay, let us take it in B. Suppose it belongs to B. Suppose it belongs to B. What is my B naught? B naught is nothing but is this closed interval B comma C intersection B, right? So it will belong to H plus delta will belong to B, right? So it will belong to B and also it will belong to lesser than or equal to this C also is there, no? So it will definitely belong to B naught. But actually, what is my H? H is supremum of B naught. And I have a bigger number. H is the largest number in B naught. But I have H plus delta is bigger than H. So I cannot have this H plus delta belonging to B naught. I cannot have this belonging to B naught. So therefore, this is ruled out. This part is ruled out. So it doesn't belong to B. Doesn't belong to B, no, so it has to belong to C. It has to belong to C. And H plus delta also belongs to K. K is any open interval containing H, remember? So consider this now. C intersection K minus singleton H. Is it null or not null? Is it null or not null? See, this H plus delta belongs to C, H plus delta belongs to K. So therefore it belongs to both here. I have H plus delta belonging to this minus singleton H will definitely be not null. Not null. And what is my K? K is any open interval of H. Any open interval of H. So for every open interval of H, for every open set of H, this is not null. That means what? That means H is limit point of C. But C is closed. So H will belong to C. H will belong to C. H will belong to C. C, I'm getting H will is belonging to C. And remember our H also belongs to B. So H will belong to B intersection C. That means what? This is, but actually B intersection C is equal to null. This is again, I'm getting a contradiction here. So many times we avoid it, but still we are getting a contradiction. Therefore, what we assumed is wrong. Therefore, A has to be connected, hence sufficiency. So this very, very important theorem is concluded. So is completed. This is our 10th theorem on connected spaces.